I wanted to record a demo on how to create a master sketch after the fact, and also how to reorient a bounding box onto the origin. Um, so the first thing we're going to do is, you can see the master sketch has been used for this revolve. I'm going to select the master sketch and click on edit. Um, this is a place that I like to use the snipping tool. So, or basically just to get a screen grab of your master sketch as it exists. That way you can see where your dimensions are, you can recreate it later. And so basically it's just like taking quick notes as a reference point. The next thing I'm going to do is select everything and then edit, copy, because we can paste the sketch. So now we want to create a sketch before the first feature here. So I'm going to drag this rebuild bar before the revolve. I'm going to create a new front plane sketch. So select the front plane, click on the sketch command, and simply just edit, paste. You can see that the dimensions didn't copy. That's okay. We're going to have to recreate them anyway. I deleted out that green one because it was broken, and we're just going to leave that for now. We have the lines, which is the main part. So the next thing we're going to fix is the bounding box. So I right click on that and edit the sketch. The origin is really important. You want it, it's the kind of the 0 point. So I'm first going to add a rule here to make sure that these are coincident. I'm also going to click on the smart dimension tool up here to dimension the height of this. And now I should be able to drag this point onto the origin. So now when the bottle gets updated, anything below the origin is what changes. Anything above the origin stays fixed and hopefully doesn't move. I'm going to edit the photo reference. So edit that sketch and double click on this. And now I can just kind of drag this in place. Again, it'll be helpful as we set up our new master sketch. And then exit out of that. And so now here, this is our new master sketch. I'll rename it. And now I can edit this. So you'll notice if like I select everything and click and drag, it kind of explodes. So the way to move that is to use the move entities command up here. And I'm going to click on this point, which is what we want to be on our origin here. And this is why it was helpful to move the photo. You can kind of see, hopefully, that everything aligns. Now, not all the rules copied through. It looks like these tangencies for these arcs were kept. But I noticed when I dragged this line earlier, like the vertical aspect of this was not kept. So I want to make sure, like select the line in the origin and tell it to be coincident. And let's see, why is that not? Here we go. Let's select that again. Nope, Control Z. Sometimes, let's see, I'm going to drag this just a little bit here. I'm going to drag this back onto the, now it turned black. So I think when I set it coincident before, I was setting it to this endpoint coincident. So sometimes in SOLIDWORKS, you have to like kind of drag it away and drag it back on. Let me, so I'm going to like add a couple more rules. I'm going to select these two lines and tell them to be collinear. So I'm basically just like recreating the master sketch in the right location now. I'm going to set this to be tangent. This is again where this screen grab comes in handy. So I'm going to try and add some of these dimensions back in. So let's see, there was one from the origin to here. There was one from the center line to here. There was one from the top to here. There was one from the bottom to here. Now all these numbers don't align exactly, but they're close enough that I'm not too concerned. Let's see, I also want to make sure that this line and this line are collinear. Hotkey D for dimension to bring up the dimensioning tool. This was defined. This height was defined. Let's see, it looks like it kept this tangency. Yep. So I think that's pretty much everything. So now we have it in the right location, the new master. So here's where we're going to have errors now, because we've dragged the bounding box, this whole thing exploded. So we're actually going to edit this sketch, and we're just going to delete everything. And this is where there is, it's a fairly convoluted process. There's a lot to repair. So we're going to select this master sketch, and we're just going to convert entities. And now we have all of this defined or copied over based on the master. When I exit the sketch, we're going to get an error because the revolve doesn't know what to revolve it around. So we just simply need to right click on the feature and say edit feature. And it's basically asking us for the axis of revolution, which is the center line here. Now, one critical step I forgot to mention is saving your file as a copy first, because now all of these things, as I drag the rebuild bar, are broken. So sometimes this will tell you where the old fillet was. If you forgot to save a copy, you could do it now. You can go to File and Save As. And here I can just add the word edit. It's saying there's errors, but save it anyway. And now what I can do is I can open the original bottle and I can kind of look and see where these fillets are. Okay, so I see the first fillet was at the bottom. The next one is at the shoulder and neck. The next one is around the transfer bead ring. So that's where all those fillets are. So now I can go back to my edit here and just go through one at a time. So now that I know where this is, sometimes SolidWorks will also highlight it for you where it used to be. But this is a big enough change that it lost it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and just hit delete, and then I'm going to select this face. And again, I know where they were now from the last bottle. So again, edit, and now I know that it was this one and this one, and then this one here. Edit the feature. It's missing. Yes, I know. It was this one. Whenever you're repairing a file in SolidWorks, it helps to have a copy of the non-broken one open, so that, again, you can reference it. So here you can see everything kind of broke. I don't know what I do here. Like I just select one of these points that's like red point. I select it and just delete it. And it happened to snap down, so that's good. I don't need this line. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to make sure that this is on, maybe on the origin, and just kind of reposition this. So I'm assuming that the line I deleted was the axis of revolution. I can edit this. It's still missing, so I can select this line here. And same thing, I can always go back to the other file and see what was missing. So here it looks like this sketch was located on this face. It may need to be repositioned, so I can edit the sketch and say normal 2. And now I can just drag it so there's more overlap. Here again, this is missing. Maybe it's... So the amount of overlap will determine the size of the fillet that's available. I mean, again, this is where it's possible to go to the previous bottle and judge the amount of overlap. So again, I can say normal 2, or whoops, I didn't mean to suppress that. That was supposed to be an edit. Edit sketch. And then now I should be able to say normal 2. So basically, I just need to change the amount of overlap here. Based on what I saw, it looks like it was breaking this line more. And now you can see the fillet resolved because there was more space for the fillet to work with. The other way to fix that fillet would have been to make it smaller. I can edit this. And again, it's missing the axis of revolution, so I can simply just select this line. Now the grip got moved. So I can edit the sketch to relocate it. So let's see if I can just simply drag this down. And this is where it's helpful. Like I can go to my solid bodies folder here and just hide the bottle. And this is where the photo reference is handy. I can just drag this to where it looks like it's in about the right location. Exit that sketch. Show this body again. I have to re-edit this one. I'm just simply going to delete all this. It is going to be an offset of these lines. Now, one thing I noticed that a lot of people did is, and it's possible this was a mistake in the video. If I just draw a straight line here, you'll see that I'm going to cut into the push-up area. So this top doesn't matter, the center doesn't matter, but the bottom does matter. So you want to look at where this push-up is and make sure you stop your line below, above that. You can trim this excess with the trim tool. I like the setting of trim to closest, and it just chops those two out. If I go to view, hide show, and say hide all types, I can see what I'm working with. I'm still going to have an error because it won't know where to revolve it around. So I can edit the feature and just simply select this middle part. And this, I believe I just have to select these faces to get that to fill it. And there you have it, fixed bottle. Master sketch referenced. Let's see. I'm going to save and edit the bounding box, see if it works. There you go.